Welcome to Inspiration in Action Television, where you'll meet people who will inspire you to bring your dreams to life. My guest is a nutritionist, someone I like to call the gluten-free guru. Welcome, Kathie Smart, or Kathie Very Smart, as I like to call you, because you are very smart. Kathie really is inspiration in action in everything she does, because it is a holistic approach to health that you take, right?
It absolutely is. It is mind, body, and spirit.
Now, Kathie's journey began a long time ago. I want you to talk a little bit about how you came to be the gluten-free guru.
Well, how I became to be the gluten-free guru actually started out when I was very young. I was 12 years old and I was a very sick child. And my mother never stopped looking for answers as to why I was always sick. And so she brought me to a naturopathic doctor, and this naturopathic doctor realized, oh my gosh, this kid is allergic to gluten. And at the time, no one even knew what gluten was, right? So my mother took me off gluten, and because I am a celiac, and lo and behold, I made this connection as a child. Wow, if you change what you eat, you can change your life. So I have been living this my entire life.
And that's a perfect example of food as medicine, for sure. Kathie was that person. I think you said you were 17 years old when you started to bring in gluten-free products to the big grocery stores. Nobody knew what gluten-free products were.
Absolutely. I was working for National Grocers, and I started to realize that there was other people just like me, just like you, people that might be watching that are celiac. And I realized, oh my gosh, there's so many of us out there. So I wanted other people to not have to travel an hour and a half or 2 hours for a yicky loaf of bread. And I started creating this change at a very young age.
Now, it isn't only about eating gluten-free, although that's a big part of your business.
Absolutely.
But it is about teaching people about food as something that's really their friend, food that's medicine for their body.
Absolutely.
And in your presentations, you're also talking about how you think about yourself.
Yes.
So I remember the presentation where you handed out a scale, right?
Yes, absolutely.
To tell people what not to focus on.
Right. So at this particular presentation, I had little sticky notes of you are beautiful, you are stunning, you are strong, you are gorgeous. And because I really like to teach people that you aren't a number on a scale, and it isn't just about what you weigh. And I often tell people, scales are for fish people, right? Because it's about going back to basics. It's about just eating real food and really loving yourself through food instead of, oh, I can't do this, I can't do that. It's the same as how you teach with your thoughts. You know, change your thoughts, change what you do.
Exactly. Courage is a big piece of what I teach in Inspiration in Action and in the course. And I find women really connect with having courage, calling on courage by name to help them. And I'm sure in your life, Kathie Smart, courage has played a big role.
Whew. Courage has been huge. I actually was a child who had a lot of anxiety. And so for me, when I was starting my business, doing anything, it wasn't just like, oh, I'll do this. It was a huge deal. So I remember deciding I'm going to do a gluten-free cookbook. Everyone's like, nobody even cares about gluten-free. Same with the TV show. Nobody cares about gluten-free. And it took a lot of courage to say, you know what? No. I have the courage. I am going to do this. I have a message. And I was telling you earlier when I was called on the Dr. Oz show, right? So picture, you get a phone call. Hi, Kathie Smart. You know, it's the Dr. Oz show. Would you like to come on? And I used to be paranoid of flying alone, right? So I said yes. And it took a lot of courage to get on that plane, stay in New York City by myself, and meet someone that, wow. So definitely, magic happens outside of the comfort zone.
That's it. And when you call on courage and do something, then you have to imagine what the heck else you could do, girl. I can't wait to see.
It's almost like it's so empowering when you do something you're really afraid of and you conquer it. You're like, man, I'm unstoppable. It's an awesome feeling.
When you tell yourself and acknowledge to yourself what you really want, it puts fear in its place.
Absolutely.
And it takes courage to do that.
Yes, it does. Yeah. Fear is a lie.
Fear is a lie, people.
Fear is a lie.
You heard it here. Now, Kathie, nutrition is a big part of your life. And I wondered if you could offer people, because I find now nutrition is really more of a marketing game than it is about good food and what's healthy for us. So we have to know how we can feel empowered around food, how we can do better as we eat. And I wonder if you could talk a little about that and offer maybe your top 5 tips.
I would love to do that. And I think you brought up a really good point. Nutrition is a lot about marketing. You're right. It's a lot of times people just trying to sell a pill, but I love to focus on basics. So top 5 tips. Number 1, I would say everyone should start off breakfast, men and women, with 25 grams of protein. So that looks like, 2 or 3 eggs, some oatmeal, and some, gluten-free toast with peanut butter on it, or some cottage cheese or Greek yogurt. That's going to stabilize your blood sugar, it's going to increase your metabolism, and it's going to balance your hormones for the whole day. It's a small little tweak and change. It makes a huge difference.
I love that tip.
Yeah, huge difference.
Tip number 2.
Number 2. So tip number 2 is stop trying to lose weight.
What? Did you say stop?
Stop trying to lose weight.
Stop focusing on what you don't want, right?
Exactly. So I tell people, focus on becoming and being healthy, because weight loss is a side effect of health. So you will automatically lose weight when you focus on being healthy, just like you said. Number 3, focus on the foods that you can eat and not on the foods that you can't eat. So lots of fresh fruits, vegetables, nuts and seeds, legumes, lean proteins. These are healthy foods you can eat. Focus on what you can eat. It's kind of like in your inspiration action, how you talk about focus on the good. It's the same principle, just in food.
We are like sisters from another mother, honestly.
We really are.
Okay, tip number
We really are.
4.
So tip number 4 is move it. Find something that you like to do, and everyone is different. So that can be Zumba, yoga, strength training, walking, and move. As humans, we were designed to move. You feel better, and it's the cheapest antidepressant out there.
That's true. That is very, very true.
It really is.
And the last?
The last one is to wake up every single day and find something to be grateful for.
I'm grateful for you, Kathie Smart.
I'm grateful for you, Kathie Donovan.
And gratitude is the bottom line of everything. And you can just feel from Kathie the great energy, the positive energy, because she gets it. She's grateful for everything in her life. And I wish you all great success.
Thank you
so much. Thanks a lot.